Hello everyone. So from today we will start a monthly magazine of May 2025. Okay. So let's start. We will start from the first topic, that is polity and governance. Yeah. The first topic here is caste census. Caste census. Why in news? So center issued notification for census which begin from October 2096 in Ladakh and March in 2097 across rest of India, which include caste census. More in news. फर्स्ट सिंस इंडिपेंडेंस के बाद ये पहला होगा. दिस मेक्स द फर्स्ट टाइम सिंस इंडिपेंडेंस द कास्ट डेटा बियॉन्ड SC and ST will be officially collected as a part of the Decanian census. That means when we look about the history of this caste census, so we can see that it had like in decades ये caste census इस तरीके से नहीं हुआ था कि जिसमें हम SC और ST के बियॉन्ड जाकर ऑफिशियली डेटा कलेक्ट करें कि कौन कास्ट के ऊपर. ओके. सो डिस्क्रिपेंशन इन स्टेट लेवल state caste survey. Several states have conducted their own caste survey, example Bihar, Karnataka, etc. in recent years, but these have often lacked uniformity, transparency and credibility, leading to doubt about their reliability and comparability. A caste survey is different from caste census. The census, like caste survey, is very different from the caste census, as census is a constitutionally mandated, unlike survey. So census is constitutionally mandated, we have to remember this, but surveys are not. Digital mode. The upcoming census will incorporate a mobile application to digitally record the census data alongside traditional pen and paper mode. सेंसस इन इंडिया की बात करें तो थोड़ा सा इसकी हिस्ट्री देखते हैं. अबाउट इट इज़ Decanian exercise that provide comprehensive demographic, social and economic data relating to all the person in the country at a particular time. Okay, censuses have been conducted regularly every 10 years since 1881 से in India. However, the latest census scheduled to take place in 2021 was immediately due to COVID की वजह से इसे बंद कर दिया गया था तभी, and now it will be organized. Okay, so since 1881 caste census or census is being held in our country. Legal framework, constitutional provision. Okay, so लास्ट 2011 में हुआ था सेंसस, बट ड्यू टू लाइक 2021 में होना था, बट ड्यू टू कोविड इट गेट पोस्टपोन्ड एंड नाउ इन 2025 इट विल हैपन, 2025 और 2026. ओके. Constitutional provision. Census is a union subject under entry 69 on the union list of 7th schedule as per article 246 of the constitution. Statutory provisions भी हैं for conduct of census. The Census Act 1948 and the Census Rule 1990 provide the legal framework along with the duties and responsibilities of the census officer. The Registrar General and Census Commissioner is authorized to design the census performer, including the addition of caste-related question without the need for amending the act. Okay, now we will see the history of caste census in India. So in pre-independence, caste were enumerated in each census held between 1881 से 1941, और उसके बीच में हर हर सेंसस में कास्ट को इनमरेट किया जाता था. Last official data on caste survey is available for the 1931 census, as 1941 data was not published due to World War II. Okay. So first census of independent India was conducted in 1951, disconnecting caste enumeration except SC or ST. 1951 से ये SC ST तक limited हो गया. In 1961, the central government asked state to conduct their own survey and prepare state-specific list to OBC if they wished so. So in 61, center has given this duty to the states to conduct their own survey and calculate what percentage OBCs are. Okay. Along with 2011 census, the separate socio-economic and caste census was also held, but its data has not been published. Okay. So now let us see the need for caste census. So what was the need for the caste census? Constitutional mandate. The first thing is constitutional mandate है. Article 340 mandate appointing a commission to investigate socially and educationally backward classes. Policy making. So accurate caste data is crucial for evidence-based policy making, targeted welfare schemes and equitable resource allocation. Now here look at OBC. OBC group argue that their claim on national resources are often neglected due to lack of updated data on their number of backwardness. Okay, number and backwardness के ऊपर okay, so the caste census is important for these all things. Affirmative actions, it enable better identification of disadvantaged group for reservation in education and public employment, and also the better monitoring and effectiveness such policies for necessary adjustment. Various rulings of Supreme Court has held caste as a relevant criterion, sole criterion or dominant criterion for defining the backward class, and even demanded detailed caste-wise data for upholding reservation policies. Demand for OBC reservation by various groups across India, such as Marathas in Maharashtra, Jats in Haryana, etc., can be better ascertained. Subcategorization. Okay, helps in subcategorization of OBC and other group to ensure equitable distribution of benefits and address intra-group disparities. Justice Rohini Commission. So what is this Justice Rohini Commission? Or subcategorization of OBC framed in 2017. It is yet to present its report. So it has not yet presented its report. Justice Rohini Commission. Comprehensive National Database. The central database of all castes enumerate with full transparency in an objective manner is necessary amidst various state level disparities in caste survey for the data deriving good governance processes. Issues associated with caste census. Data accuracy and reporting. Self-reporting of caste identities and lack of proper training of government officials can lead to error or deliberate misrepresentation. Example, in 2011, SECC reported inflated caste count due to duplication entry and misspellings, rendering part of the data unusable. Okay. Classification issues. Variation in caste classification between center and the state list create inconsistencies. For instance, means what are the issues? So when states are using states are organizing the census, so there is a inconsistency also. Plus there is some, you can see here that misspellings and duplicate entries had made blunder there, made it unusable. So for instance, a caste listed as OBC in one state may be unorganized in an unrecognized in another state. Example, Jats in Haryana versus Uttar Pradesh. Okay, so Jats in Haryana face like they वहाँ पे उन्हें OBC की तरह शायद देखा जाता है उत्तर प्रदेश में, और एक in another state they are general. So this is the issue here. Policy sensitivities. Policy एक मिनट Political sensitivities. Recognition of certain caste may lead to demand for inclusion of reservation in reservation categories, stirring political unrest. Example, the Gujar allegation in Rajasthan at one point demanded ST status based on socio-economic backwardness. Identity politics. So caste data may identify caste-based political mobilization, deepening social division. Privacy concern. Collecting caste data digitally raises concern about data security and privacy, especially in rural area for limiting digital literacy. Limited digital literacy. Okay. Way forward. Consultative process. The Office of Registrar General in India and the Census Commissioner must consult with academics, caste group, political grouping, and public at large to devise a method of caste enumeration accurately. Caste directory. A comprehensive national directory of castes should be created in the upcoming census, standardizing the classification and nomenclature of various caste groups across states. The government should enlist sociological, anthropological experts to draw up the draft list of caste specialized in each state. Publish the draft list online, inviting suggestions and comments from the public before finalizing it, and give only that list to the enumerators. Okay, very nice. What get measured get managed. So this is the thought of Peter Drucker. So what we have to do, हम अपनी लाइफ में जो भी करते हैं हमें उसे मेज़र करना चाहिए. ओके, भले ही वो पढ़ाई के घंटे हो, भले ही वो ब्रेक के घंटे हो, भले वो कुछ भी एवरीथिंग. everything, whatever can be managed can be, no, whatever can be measured can be managed. तो everything हमें काउंट करना चाहिए, क्या कैसा चल रहा है, कितने घंटे सो रहे हैं, कितने घंटे क्या लगा रहे हैं. So we have to manage this all, measure that all, to manage that all. Okay, so training and capacity building. Officials and staff collecting that caste data must be properly trained to avoid duplication and spelling error in caste enumeration. Okay, modern technologies like AI, big data analytics can be used to minimize the error. Okay, now the second topic here is private member bill. Yeah, okay, actually I just woke up. Okay, मैं थोड़ी देर पहले ही सो कर उठी हूँ and I start to make this video, so that's why you're feeling little, like I'm feeling little. Okay, so let's start. Nothing. Why news? As per the PRS Legislative Research Report, the space for private member bill has declined in both the House and Parliament in recent years. What is private member? So let's have a look at private member bill. क्या है? Hope you all know that who are private members. Okay, about private member bill. Other than ministers, a member of parliament other than minister, both elected and nominated, are called private member. Means have you got like कोई भी ऐसे member of parliament जो minister ना हो, I mean जो home minister ना हो, जो कुछ minister ना हो, both elected and nominated, उसे कहते हैं private member. The bill initiated by any such member is called private member bill. Drafting of such a bill is responsibility of member introducing it. तो उसका ड्राफ्ट बनाना भी उसी का काम होता है जो इसे इंट्रोड्यूस कर रहा हूँ. मैकेनिज्म, 1 month नोटिस पहले उसे देना होता है. इज गिवन बिफोर द इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ बिल विद द परमिशन ऑफ स्पीकर लोकसभा एंड चेयरमैन राज्यसभा. If that person is doing in Lok Sabha, then you have to take a prior permission from speaker, and if that person is private member is going to show the bill in Rajya Sabha, then he have to take the prior permission from the chairman. Okay, chairperson. If the bill is selected, then what happen after? So Lok Sabha allowed last 2.5 hours of business every Friday for consideration and discussion on the bill. Rajya Sabha, have a look here, every Friday, okay, for 2.5 hours. Okay, Rajya Sabha allowed 2.5 hours, 2.5 से 5 on every alternate Friday. Okay, the first member bill passed was Muslim Waqf Bill 1952, which was introduced by Syed Muhammad Ahmad Kashmi. Okay, what is significance of PMB, private member bill? Policy innovation. They allow MP to propose novel ideas or address issues overlooked by the government. Example, right to disconnect bill 2019, introduced by a private member, granting employee the legal right for disengage from work related communication beyond official working hours. Okay, so this is a right to disconnect in 2019. That was also a private member bill. Reform potential. They can spark debate or outdated laws on emerging issues. Example, right to transgender personal bill 2014 was first introduced a private member, which then inspired the government to introduce its own bill on transgender right. Expression beyond party line. Okay, so they enable MP to voice independent views free from the party whip constant under 10th schedule, fostering democratic participation, checks and balances. These act as a tool for MP to hold the government accountable by processing alternative policies. Why are private member bill in decline? क्यों in decline में ये? So disruption. Frequent adjournment and chaotic sessions reduce time for private member bill discussion. Example, in the 17th Lok Sabha 2019-24, 729 FMBs were introduced in Lok Sabha and 705 in Rajya Sabha. However, only 2 in Lok Sabha and 14 in Rajya Sabha were ever discussed. Procedural issues. It takes years of legislation moved by private member to came up to the discussion due to the limited time, only 2 to 3 hours weekly. The speaker or chairman discretionary power to amend or reject bill can be influenced by the political consideration. Resource भी constraint होते हैं कि private member lack resource support, drafting expertise और institutional backing, unlike government का कोई bill. ठीक है, low success perception. तो historically low passage rate discouraged MPs from wasting effort on private member bill. Example, only 14 private member bill हैं जो law बने हैं आज तक, आज़ादी कितने सालों बाद तक, and last bill was passed in 1970. Oh my god. Okay, lack of political will. Many private MPs have pointed out that government prioritize their own legislative agenda, sideline private member bill. So हमें इस पे काम करना चाहिए. क्या है way forward? Let's see. Streamlining procedures. Okay, streamlining procedures allocate fixed interrupted time for private member bill discussion, digital tracking of such bill etc to ensure that at least a few bills were debated in each session. Okay, amendment to the rule of procedure and conduct of business can explicitly protect the allotment time for being overridden by other agendas. Research support. Establish a dedicated research unit like UK Public Bill Committee to assist MP in drafting robust bill. Institutionalized mechanism. Parliament can introduce a dedicated review committee for screening bill for quality, relevance and constitutionality and recommend a priority list for discussion based on public importance and encourage cross-party report. UK's 10-minute rule model can be used to can also be adapted where MPs can introduce short bill with brief speeches to make their case for a new bill. Okay, news in short. So inclusive digital access part of Article 21. Inclusive digital access part of Article 21 Supreme Court ने ऐसा कहा. Recently Supreme Court in Amar Jain versus Union of India and ORS judgment held that inclusive and meaningful digital access to e-governance and welfare delivery system is a part of fundamental right of life and liberty. So 21 के अंदर ये वाला ऐड कर रहा है. Okay, so key highlights of judgment. Directed to revise the digital know your customer norms to enable person with facial disfiguration due to acid attack or visual impairment to access banking and e-governance services under the right of persons with disabilities act. Those are solar. The court issued 20 directions to make e-KYC process accessible to them. Invoking the principle of substantive equality, digital transformation must be both inclusive and equitable. Part of Article 21. Right to digital access emerges as an incentive component of the right to life and liberty. States obligation under Article 21, right to dignified life. आर्टिकल 14 के अंदर राइट टू इक्वालिटी, आर्टिकल 15 के अंदर डिस्क्रिमिनेशन के अगेंस्ट, आर्टिकल 38 डायरेक्ट द स्टेट टू प्रमोट social justice and of the constitution. State is obliged to ensure digital infrastructure to all vulnerable marginalized population. Significance of inclusive digital access. Access is essential government scheme reducing rural urban divide, access to online learning platform and financial technologies, inclusion of marginalized in development processes etc. So this is all about, let me read this. Other Supreme Court judgment on right to internet access. Sabu Mithu George versus Union of India 2017 ordered blocking of prenatal sex. Okay, determination ads without restricting information access from or free speech. Anuradha Bhushan versus Union of Union of India, those are B's, recognize internet access as a fundamental right under Article 19 clause A, free speech under Article 19G. So now this is power of court to modify arbitral awards. What, complete करें इसे या छोड़ दें? This is the only one topic left, so let us read this too. Let's read this too. So Supreme Court recently held that court has limited power to modify arbitral awards. So what are these arbitral awards? Let us see. So SC in the Gayatri Balasamy versus ISG Navasoft Technology Limited held that power to modify awards can be exercised under Section 34 or 37 of the Arbitration and Conciliation Act 1996 under the following circumstances: when the award is severed by separating the invalid portion from the valid portion. SC cited the doctrine of omni majus continent in se minus. Oh my god, what is this? So the greater power include the lesser. The power to set aside as arbitral award necessarily include the power to set it aside in part. Correct any clerical computation or typographical error. Modify post-award interest in some circumstances under Article 142, enabling courts to do complete justice of the Constitution, provided this power should be in consonance with the fundamental principle of the 1996 Act. Arbitration in India, meaning it is a form of alternative dispute resolution mechanism, other being conciliation and mediation, involving conscientious method of resolving dispute outside the national judicial system through a private system of adjudication. Okay. So significance: less adversarial, flexible, quicker it is. Okay. Legal framework: the Arbitration and Conciliation Act 1996, model as per the United Nations Commission of International Trade Law, model law on International Commercial Arbitration 1985, section 34(1) of the Act stipulates records of the country only by an application for setting aside the award. Section 37 states instances where the appeal may lie against order. So implication of ruling, positive and negative. So let us see the positive. Import of Article 142 of Equality of Commercial Disputes eliminate the need to be re-arbitrate from stretch, reducing cost and delay. Negative, when we talk about negative, so greater power to a court may cause businesses to favor overseas arbitration hub, as 1996 Act does not distinguish between domestic and international arbitration. Rohingyas and provisions related to refugee and deportation. Okay, the Supreme Court, while hearing petition related to deportation and living condition for Rohingya refugee, highlighted that they cannot claim relief based on UNHCR card. UNHCR, UN High Commissioner for Refugees, is a global organization to protect refugee, forcibly displaced communities and stateless people. India is not a signatory to the 1951 Convention on Refugee and its 1967 protocol. Okay. So now, statutory provision in India related to refugee and deportation. India does not have a separate law to deal with refugee. Okay, so thus case for refugee status are considered as a case by case basis based on the policy of bilateralism. Refugees came under the section of alien and foreigners. So Foreigner Act 1946, section 3 of the Foreigner Act vests the central government with power to detain and deport foreign nationals staying illegally in the country. Passport Entry into India Act 1920, center may direct the removal of any foreigners from India who enter India without passport and visa. According to Article 258 Clause 1 and 239 Clause 1 of the Constitution, state duties and are also entrusted with these powers. Okay, so what is this other provision? India follow the non-refoulement principle, Bangkok Principle 1966, prohibiting transfer of persons from likely to face fundamental right violence. Muhammad Salimullah versus Union of India 2021, right not to be deported in ancillary or concomitant to the right to reside or settle under Article 19 Clause 1 Clause E. Okay, so right of pedestrians. Supreme Court passed an order affirming that the constitutional right of pedestrians. About the Supreme Court order, Supreme Court stated that the right to have unobstructed and disabled friendly footpath is guaranteed under Article 21. Article 21 protects the life and personal liberty, states that no person should be deprived from the life except according to the procedures established by law. The Supreme Court issued direction: all public road must be have footpaths and must be accessible and usable by person with disabilities. Removal of encroachment from footpath is mandatory. Okay, so state UT must evolve policies to ensure the availability and maintenance of footpath and footways. Now there is anniversary 50th 50वां सालगिरह of Sikkim statehood. About Sikkim का statehood, let's see this. Sikkim was made a full-fledged state of Union of India under Constitution 36th Amendment Act 1975. Earlier Constitution 35 Amendment Act 1974 granted Sikkim the status for associated state of the Union of India under Article 2A. Article 2A was repealed by the Constitution 36th Amendment Act 1975. It became 22वां state of India. Article 371F grants certain special provision to the state of Sikkim. So यहाँ पे हमारा होता है polity and governance का section finish. So we will meet in the next video. Till then you can also like आप इसे सुन सकते हो लगाकर. If you are not willing to read this, then you can also hear, because I had only read the whole topic. So you can go for it. Till then, bye bye, and keep listening, keep working, keep going towards your goal. Okay, bye bye.